I see some of my old friends here. I visited Ashraf in March, April of 2004. And unlike many people here today, I remind you of the situation that we had then. The PMOI was at that time on the EU terror list. It was on the United States terrorist list. The Camp Ashraf that I visited was surrounded by American troops. And while I was in Camp Ashraf, the FBI came and interviewed and took DNA and fingerprints of every single resident of Ashraf. And you know what? They didn't find one single suspect of terrorism in Ashraf. Not one. We had a few good friends back in 2004. They were very good friends, and they really tried in every way possible to support you and understood the importance of this resistance movement. And we succeeded. First, we got rid of the internment. And the interesting thing was that when I visited Ashraf, already I could see that you in Ashraf had convinced the American captors, the soldiers who were guarding you, that you were the real resistance against the mullahs in Iran. They understood this. I remember visiting the museum that we had in Ashraf 1. And the American officers also were visiting, and the American soldiers were also visiting. And they were impressed by your dedication, by your political program, and so on. In fact, I think that's when we started to win some really good friends in the United States. It was the very people who were guarding you and holding you in Ashraf. Sorry. So, already in those times, you were winning people over by your dedication and by your program. I remember very clearly the fact that 40% of the resistance fighters in Ashraf were women in a Muslim movement against the mullahs. This was an important thing. As time went on, you have won more and more support. We got you off the EU terror list. I'm very happy that I was able to contribute to that. But I'll remind you that there were many people in those days. The French government actually appealed the decision made by the court to take you off the terror list. So we had some friends, and in those days, a lot of people who still didn't understand. And later, we got you off the American list as well. And that's a great achievement. Now we've seen that a lot of people who used to not understand that you are the main part of the resistance against the mullahs have finally seen the light and have joined us and are giving us this support. And this is a wonderful development. We should be very proud and very happy. But it's your work and your resistance which has brought this about, and not least your program. In my country, Sweden, I'm sad to say that we haven't achieved very much. You'll notice that we don't have any members of the Swedish Parliament present here today. You probably will have noticed that our foreign minister last year visited Tehran. A foreign minister, a woman who represents a feminist foreign policy, goes to Iran to sell trucks and construction equipment. and even puts on a chador. With this, I want to say that there are still a lot of people in Europe who have not understood that appeasement is not the way forward. A country like Sweden, who claim that they are defending human rights, are more interested in selling their trucks and don't care really about human rights when it comes down to the final analysis.